Welcome to another edition of the Creators Outlet. I know what you're saying. Didn't you just do one of those? I just keep doing them. That's the problem. It's like crack or comic books because it all comes out to the same thing. Anyhow, this is brought to you by our friends over at the Inked Marketing Team. 30 plus years in the business. If you need a little help with your Kickstarter or Indiegogo, contact Kevin over at Inked Marketing and see what they can do for you. Also, for your consideration, if you would be so kind as to go over to www.ringoawards.com and vote for Loco Hero from our good friend Monty Michael Moore. Up for some Ringo Awards, please go check it out. Incredible talent. But today, we join the seventh level of hell in Lucifer Storm across the pond. Good day, sir.
Good day to you, good sir. How the devil art thou?
Well, I am so the devil art thou that he kicked me out again. So I figured I might as well keep doing some podcasting. He said, "What are you doing back here?" I'm like, "I don't know. You threw me out." "Oh, it's you." Yes. So, what is going on and what is good over there in the UK?
Well, here in the UK, we're starting to have more COVID restrictions lifted, so it feels like the apocalypse is slowly coming to an end, which is quite nice. I've been booked for one convention. I've got someone else is trying to get me in at a different convention for in November and stuff like that. So there was me thinking we would come out of lockdown and like the work would dry up, but no, it's just getting busier and busier, which isn't a bad thing.
Oh yeah, conventions are starting to open up out here too. We ran some PM this morning for one out in Connecticut called Terrificon.
Yeah.
Mitch is the guy that runs. Mitch and his wife run that one, and it's a huge convention. It is so big that they have to have it at the casino.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and his first big announcement, celebrity wise, is except for the actor that played the father because he's long since passed. They've got the brother, the sister, and the little pet Manchichi, who played Chaka from the original Land of the Lost there.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. Little Holly don't look that bad. She's old. I think she's older than me now, but and he announced I sent in the PR to Outright Geekery today because I was busy with stuff, and as I always am because I just don't feel like posting anything. I'm busy, man. I'm busy. Between masturbation and comics, what the fuck? But his big announcement, comic book talent wise, was Donnie Cates.
Oh, nice.
Which turned me off from the convention because hashtag I hates the Cates. I've typed that in so much that if I type hashtag
it just comes up automatically.
On any platform, it's automatic. Boop. I've actually gone and had a conversation with him on his Twitter. And he's like, "Well, all the haters can come in now." I go, "Oh, you rang good, sir." Hashtag I hate the cakes. He hasn't blocked me. I mean, I've liked some of his stuff. Like I like Crossover, but most of his Marvel stuff, he found a formula that worked plot wise.
Yeah.
So all he's doing is rinse and repeat.
Yep.
With changing the antagonist and protagonist, it's basically the same friggin' story.
Yeah.
It's this, it's a completely different story actually when you read it, but when you look at the bullet points throughout, it's like, yep. Oh, this is the same journey in Thor that was in Venom, that was in blah blah.
Yeah.
Oh, and now Thor can just kill Galactus. You are so full of shit.
I find that with a lot of writers when they go to Marvel, they all of a sudden have a magic formula that they use
Yeah.
over and over and over again. And I was reading somewhere that I think it's the Incredible Hulk. Like Marvel literally say, okay, here's the formula you have to use every time you write a Hulk issue. Oh, have you frozen? Is it just me? I've been in this position before. I think I know what to do. He says. Don't worry. I'm sure Will be back soon. If not, then this all of a sudden becomes the Lucifer Storm show. Yep, see, it's just me. It's all of a sudden become the Lucifer Storm show. You know, this has happened to me before. when I appeared on my good friend Wally's channel. If you haven't checked out Wally at Terrier Comics, you might want to do that. He does a great book called Ilsa Dark. This sort of thing happened, but luckily I had a guitar with me at the time, so I just played a little song. I would love to say that I would do the same for you, but I don't have my guitar with me. So I'm just gonna rabbit on. I'm sure that at some point Will would probably ask me the question of, do I want to let you guys know who I am? Because there's probably some of you who are watching this who know who I am, and some of you who don't, and that's absolutely fine. So let me introduce myself. My name is Lucifer Storm, and I'm an award-winning graphic novelist from the UK. That's pretty much my entire job title. And I work on a book called Lady Satan, which is still in demand over on Indiegogo. So you might want to check that out, especially if you like your outlaw comics, your darker, more mature stories, the kind of stuff that you really shouldn't give to kids. But I'm sure there's going to be one person out there who does give it to a kid, and their kid will never be the same again. So if that sounds like your sort of thing, head on over to Indiegogo and check that out. This is great. This is fantastic doing this show, especially now that Will's back.
Oh, fucking Comcast. I'm looking, I go, because sometimes it'll lose signal for like a second. It's like, you should hardwire this into your router. It is, jackass. They just decided they were gonna, hey, lunchtime's a good time to send out a bullet to reset everybody's routers. Let's do that.
Yeah, of course. They do love to pick their moments.
You know, so I switched to my phone, shut off my interwebs, and here we are back. I can drive around in my chair now. Yeah, it's acting all funky.
At least you're back now.
Oh yeah. So, all right, what were we talking about? I'm sitting here staring at comics and driving around in my wheelchair.
Well, we were talking about I Hate the Kates.
Oh yes, I Hate the Kates. So that came in. The Rhode Island Comic Con, which the part of Massachusetts I'm in Eastern Mass, so I'm not too far from there. Cool. It's the one I covered in 2019 for Outright Geekery.
Nice.
Where I might have hung out with a few well-known names like, you know, Neil Adams, Graham Nolan, Bill McKay, Mike Grell, Tom Mandrake. You know, the list goes on.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hello, Bristolian Dave. How the devil art thou?
Bristolian Dave's been hanging out with me all day. He was here throughout the last stream, and now he's here.
Excellent.
So tell us what you have going on with Lady Satan and the campaign and the boxing.
Yes, the boxing. Everyone loves the boxing.
I love getting in a good box.
Well, yes. As I was saying, whilst you were temporarily absent, that I've still got the Indiegogo campaign for Lady Satan and Angel in a Killer's Dress going on. I'll quickly do the pitch so that people know what it's about. Lady Satan is a revenge tale unlike any other. It takes elements of the horror and the thriller genre and blends them together with a noir aesthetic to tell a truly haunting, character driven story through vengeance and darkness. It's the story of Lucille, a stripper from France who was abducted to be the star in a snuff film. But she did something that no one else has done. She survived. And because of this, she goes from town to town as the vigilante Lady Satan, taking down small time crooks until she ends up on British soil, where she discovers that the man who tortured her in front of the camera is a high ranking British police officer who is under investigation from the MI5. So she has one chance, and one chance only, to exact her revenge. And yes, this book is it's currently on in demand over on Indiegogo. The campaign will be ending at the end of May because I've got another book that I've been working on with the artist Christian Rossi, which I'm sure I'll talk to you more about a little bit later on. But if you back the campaign, I want you to imagine this. How many times have you backed a campaign? It's been a few months before it comes out. And then when it arrives, you know, you've got the Gemini mailer or you've got the standard box. That's fine. That's fine. But I like to have fun with these kind of things. So imagine that you back the campaign, you forget that you've done it. And then a couple of months later, there's a ring at the doorbell or a knock at the door. And all of a sudden, there's someone there, a very petrified looking delivery person who hands you this big black box with a pentagram on it that's sealed with crime scene tape. And then when you get in there, there's an evidence bag. And inside that evidence bag is your book, because that's what every backer is going to be receiving. So don't be surprised if it's the police that deliver your package and not the delivery person.
Oh, man. That's going to be quite the sight to behold.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It was great turning up at my studio the other day because this is my home studio. I've got another studio above a pub and I know all the people that work there very well, and turning up with this box and they're like, what's in the box? And I was like, 300 foot of blood-stained crime scene tape. Do you want to have a look?
I just stain it. I go, oh, I just let a bunch of strippers bleed on it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh. So everything is throwing me off because I'm on my phone now, but it's like, it's just weird. I was like thrown for a loop, and then I got a little dizzy because I kept spinning around. I go, "Oh, that looks cool in the background with the ceiling spinning around," and now I'm like, stupid bastard. So this book's ending, and you're going to have another one going off. I'm not a fan of the Indiegogo for the simple fact that they don't like taking my money.
Yes, I've found there have been a few people who have had that issue, and then they've got in touch with me privately and been like, can I just PayPal you the money? And it's like, yes, you can. Originally, I wasn't going to go through Indiegogo. I was going to do it direct through my website. But when I launched pre-orders on there, nothing, crickets. Mm-hmm. So I ended up going to Indiegogo, launched it there, and then all of a sudden people started buying. It's like, okay, if that's where you want to buy it from, who am I to stop you? But in the future, I will probably just start doing stuff direct through my website, I would have thought.
Yeah, because I mean, I backed a campaign not too long ago that the backer got distracted, as he easily does. I know him personally, and he forgot to pack like half my shit. So
that's not
I contacted him. He threw it in a package, and it should be here any day. But I mean, I backed that without a problem. I've had other people like Bristolian Dave has said, he goes, don't save a credit card to the thing, because if you do, every time you buy something from them, they then block your card.
That's weird.
for, whatever reason. And then you have to like, contact them through emails or phone calls and be like, what the fuck? And get it set back up. But I've had this happen before I saved a card and after I saved a card, and it's just weird. It's like, well, we want you to back stuff, and we're going to keep sending you emails for useless crap that you have no interest in whatsoever every day, but we're not going to let you buy this comic.
It's madness, isn't it? Absolute madness. The amount, like I said, the amount of people I've had who have been like, I really want to back your campaign, but for some reason Indiegogo won't take my card. And I'm like, I wish I could help you. All I can say is just send the cash direct to me so those fuckers don't get any of my money.
Yeah, just send it to him and get the money. I wish like everybody could do that, but they need the funds through that.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
And the being seen through that platform, too, the way it's set up and everything. So, I mean, pros and cons. To me, the biggest con is I probably spent about $500 or $600 on indie campaigns in like the last 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, it's easily done. I often joke on shows of mine that my credit card cries on regular occasions because of how much I use it on Indiegogo, but it's not a joke.
Sterling and Dave, I wish Kickstarter took my money and postage costs up front. There's a lot of campaigns I'd back if they did. See, I like, and that's why I like Kickstarter, because they don't take it until the very end.
Yeah.
I was telling people that I go, okay, there's 2 ways I shop for indie crowdfunded books. One, if I happen to have a little bit of cash left over in the account and it's on Indiegogo, I'll get it now because it's covered. Yeah. If I do not, I look at the date that it ends, and if it falls in line after the first of the month where my new check will be in, I'll be like, okay. And then I know at the beginning of the month, like $45 or $50 is going to be coming out of my comic money for the month. And I better, start selling some keys again. Pops, and I shall do that.
Good evening, Pops.
And it's weird. I use both my credit and debit card without issues. Well, Dave, maybe they're just mad because I'm from the States and it's your language and we just destroyed it. Maybe that's why.
But this is one of the reasons why I think it's better to like set up pre-orders through my website, because then there's going to be less issues of whether people can use their credit card or not. I'm not going to have as many people going, hey, my money won't go through. And if I do get someone saying my money won't go through, it'll be like, well, you better speak to your fucking bank then, because that's nothing to do with me. I think the reason why people are so reluctant to pre-order a book through a creator's website is because, if they've got a record of being late on books or not delivering, then that's obviously an issue. If they haven't done a book before, then people don't know whether to trust them or not. Whereas at least with Indiegogo, there's someone you can go to and say, hey, this creator didn't deliver, give me my money back. And I think it's also because if you're doing it direct through your website, people are like, yeah, but I don't get stretch goals and nice little surprises. And they don't know me very well, because that's the sort of shit I do anyway. I like doing that. I like knowing that when someone orders a book, there's going to be something in there they're not expecting, even if it's just like a handwritten compliment slip that says, thank you so much for supporting. Just those little things, I think, make the experience so much better for the reader. And at the end of the day, my philosophy is the reader is royalty. They are the reason I have food in my belly, a roof over my head, and clothes on my back. So if I don't treat them like royalty, I'm the biggest asshole in the universe. Always treat your readers like they are royalty.
As well, I am.
You are Prince Will.
Well, I'm a lot better than the one you have over there.
Yes, you fucking are.
See? What's Pop saying? Whoop. There we go. It's hit and miss. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. 2 months ago, I couldn't back anything. So things are getting better. And Dave said, Lucifer's right. The way he's doing it, my plan is to fund my book on Indiegogo and produced enough to sell directly on my website.
Yeah, I do believe that's the best way to go, without a doubt. Good evening, Mike Jimmy. How the devil art thou?
Why did I not know about this? Because it was on the fly.
Yes, it was.
I sent him an email before we went live with you, Mike, and he got back to me while I was eating lunch. I go, okay, give me 30 minutes. He goes, sounds perfect. I have another one in about 4 hours. I'm like, okay. And we just flew with it. I'm like, okay, another show. Let's go.
Yeah, it was meant to be. Don't be disappointed, Mike. It's all right. It's fine. Absolutely. Your audience is all. And, you know, it shocks me with the amount of pros there are out there who are working for like Marvel and DC, how they do not seem to understand this. It's such a simple concept, you know?
Yeah, Pops didn't know either. Boo! I'm back.
This is proof that you no longer need to sacrifice a virgin in order to summon the devil. You just need to send him a DM.
Mm-hmm. The life of show hosts. Exactly. And we're both show hosts. It's just one of us create some badass comic books and might get you arrested when shipping day comes.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know how the hell I'm going to top it for my next book, but I'm going to fucking well try.
Numbers are dwindling. I wonder why. Marv V!
Marv, how the devil art thou, good sir?
Bon dia, come estás? I know a few things, see? I could swear too, but you know, we're all here. Yeah, mention me and I appear in the comments.
That is so true. That is so true. Pops is like the live streaming Candyman. You say his name 3 times and then boom, there he is.
It's almost like saying heavy metal and Phil Leon appears out of nowhere.
Yes.
Pops is like Phil Leon's uncle that nobody speaks of. Hello, all you babbas. Or should I call you slags? Yeah, I've been watching Jimmy Carr.
No, I haven't, Mike Jimmy. Not yet. I did get that email through saying that it was on the way. So I'm sure that once the Royal Mail picks up a little bit, picks up their feet, it'll be here in no time.
So tell us about the new book that's going to start up.
The new book. Yes. The new book, for those of you who are fascinated with serial killers just like I am, you're going to love this. It's a little book called Ed Gein Demon Hunter, which I'm writing It started off as an idea that was meant to be a one-shot comic book. Then as I started writing it, I realized you can't fit this story into like one single issue. This is going to be a 4-issue miniseries. I've already written the first 3 scripts. I start work on the 4th one literally first thing tomorrow morning. It's going swimmingly well. And like I said, I'm only writing it. I'm not drawing this one. I've got Christian Rossi, who you guys may know from such books as Trespasser, Voidwalker, Rad Rose. He's the assistant to Eduardo Riso, so he's got a very similar style to Eduardo Riso, and he's the man who will be illustrating this 4-issue mini-series, where we're going to see the Butcher of Plainfield himself be sent back to Plainfield in the modern day of 1991. To hunt down a deranged demon on behalf of Satan, because Satan can't do it himself. Last time he left hell to hunt down a deranged demon that escaped him, all the rest were left unchecked, and they started a war in heaven in his name. So he doesn't want that to happen again. So he sends Ed Gein instead, along with a hellspawn called Ezra. However, he doesn't want attention being drawn to Ed or Ezra, otherwise they will get picked up big time by the police. It will just create loads of problems, and the universe depends on it. This deranged demon has a plan to end everything in the universe, and that clock is ticking. So in order to accompany Ed, Ezra has to be disguised as a bloodhound. So there's a little bit of a humorous side to this one. It's not as serious as Lady Satan. There's a lot more fun to it. There's lots of deep cut references. So all you true crime nuts, you will have a whale of a time spotting all of these nice little Easter eggs throughout all 4 of the issues. I've been asked quite a few questions from people like, oh, are we going to see this? Are we going to see this in relation to Ed? And I'm keeping quiet because you're going to see a lot of stuff that's going to be real fun. Christian has been reading the scripts as I've written them, and he has been over the moon with them. He thinks that it's batshit crazy and incredibly fun, and it does have its moments of heart as well. But it's still not a book for kids, I can tell you that much.
No, I don't think any of your books are books for kids.
No, not really, which is weird because I actually have a diploma in writing children's books.
So you went to learn how to write children's books so you could do the exact opposite.
Yeah, pretty much. I did write a couple of children's books in the past, and it was okay, but it just it wasn't as fun as I thought it would have been. It didn't hit all the right nerves for me. I felt like I had a lot more to say. So I decided to take the gloves off and just go, hey, if this ain't suitable for kids, then that's just the way it is.
So this one is going to launch on Indiegogo not very long after you take Lady Satan down.
Yeah, I'm going to take Lady Satan down at the end of May. There's going to be a bit of a break, and then I'll start building up the email list for Indiegogo. And yeah, it's going to be for the campaign will be for the first issue. And one thing that I can definitely say is the price is going to be low. I am making sure of that. This is not a campaign where I'm like, right, I need to make as much money as possible. No, this is one where I really want readers. I want as many people to come along, and if they think this sounds fucking great, they won't mind. If I start trying to charge people $10 for a 28-page issue, people are going to start going, I don't know, that's a bit much to take a risk. So it's going to be a lot lower.
Mike Jimmy, if this was a book for kids, hell would freeze over.
It would, literally.
And Pops, yeah, smash the like button, dude.
Yeah, damn straight.
Unless it's like, go the fuck to sleep. Mark V. Lucifer's books are for damaged kids. Oh, they're for me. Okay, perfect.
If they're not damaged, they will be once they finished reading them.
Yeah, like really damaged kids.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Like,
Noise.
this is one of those books where there's so much I want to say about it, but it would ruin so many surprises. There's quite a few like little twists and turns in the book that they get me excited. They really do. Well, this has been such a fun book to write. There have been so many moments where I've been working on a scene and then I've had to stop because I've been like doubled over in laughter because I have a very sick sense of humor. And this book definitely showcases that slightly.
Just slightly.
Just slightly.
Just a little bit, Governor. So, whoops. I'm on my phone, so every time I get a notification, I'm like reaching up to swipe it out of the way so I can see what I'm doing. Or what I'm not doing, because I'm just sitting here talking. So 4 issues. So what's the schedule going to be like for the 4 issues? Because you're already done writing 3 of them.
Well, Christian is still, as far as I know, he's working on the artwork for Rad Rose right up until the beginning of June, I believe. So once he's got over that, he's going to be straight on to Ed Gein Demon Hunter, because like I said, the emails I've been getting back from him in response to the scripts have been absolutely wonderful. He has been so over the moon with this. He's got nothing but good things to say about it, and that means a hell of a lot to me. I also have an editor who I've been sending the scripts to, and he's been coming back going, oh, I cannot wait to see where this is going because this is fucking crazy. So the schedule is, I really want to, if at all possible, I want to launch the campaign on August 27th, because August 27th is Ed Gein's birthday. And I would like to have the book released on November 16th at the latest, just for the first issue, because that's the date when Ed Gein was arrested for his crimes. Like that's the kind of deep cuts we're going for. Anything that can be like intertwined with the real life Ed Gein.
But a week later is my birthday.
Well, there you go. There you go. Which means if you back it and it releases on November 16th, by the time it's your birthday, that first issue would be turning up on your doorstep. That's my plan. And, you know, Christian is an amazing artist. He works so quick and he always delivers quality every single time. Like, it's been an absolute dream working with him. I have to be honest.
I was wondering how long it was going to take, Pop.
I don't know. Steve's left me alone. I think I've upset him, and I'm not sure how. All I said to him was, "Look, Steve, if I throw a stick, will you fuck off?" And I didn't even need to throw a stick. He just went, and that's it. I haven't seen him since.
No, it's kind of like telling me at my old job at the clubs, you know, I bet you'd fuck a snake if we held it for you. Why, do you have one? It's like, oh, you just shake their heads and walk away.
I've been going to the wrong clubs. I want to go to the ones you go to.
Well, they were the ones that I used to work at. Oh, so what are you looking forward to delving into besides the Ed Gein book and, of course, wrapping up Lady Satan?
I am looking forward to sitting down and writing a novel again. I haven't written a novel for a while, and there's been one that I've been toying with for the past 2 or 3 years that I would like to actually get finished and done and out there. I'm also working on a 5-track EP as well, a metal EP. So I'm really looking forward to getting into the studio and recording the vocals for that. There's been a bit of a delay on that though, because soon, towards the end of June, I begin a month-long journey in having all of my teeth taken out and replaced with dentures. So there's going to be a little bit of time after that where I'm going to be speaking like this, let alone singing. So that's going to have to be delayed a little bit. But funny enough, I have been thinking about what comic book I'll write after Ed Gein and after Lady Satan's wrapped up, because once I finish the final script for Ed Gein, it's pretty much left in Christian's hands. All he has to do is draw the book and send me the pages, and me say, well, of course it's fucking brilliant. Go ahead. Kind of move on to the next one. And I've got so many choices. I've got quite a few characters. Like there were some books that I started working on back when I started my career in comics, which was all the way back in 2010. And due to some unfortunate circumstances, those books, their runs never got finished, which is a real shame. There was a book that I worked on called Skin and Bones, which was about two superpowered serial killers looking for their missing Gemp. That's all you need to know. And that was meant to be a 3-issue miniseries, and only one issue got done, which was a shame. I worked on a book called Unity, which once again, only like 1 or 2 issues out of a 4-issue miniseries got done. And the first book I worked on was a book called Jericho, which was a very personal book to me. It was my way of dealing with my dad's long 10-year battle with cancer. And it was a story about a superhero. Well, I say a superhero. This very smart girl who was trying to develop technology using ultrasound as an alternative to chemotherapy. And it ended up that she made this acoustic weapon, and these bad guys got hold of it. And it was a very emotional and cathartic story. And whilst it was being published, people absolutely loved it. I had the pleasure of sitting with Clive Barker as he read the first issue. And when he got to the end of it, he was like, this is fucking amazing. And there were so many good things going on. I had the BBC get in touch with me, showing interest in Jericho and stuff. I had some directors get in touch with me saying that they wanted to make a live action film of it and stuff. And that was meant to run for 10 issues, and it stopped at issue 8 prematurely because of I was taking someone to court, and rights to the character got involved and stuff. So I think after Ed Gein, I'm not making any promises because anything can change between now and then. I would really love to return to Jericho and finish that book, but it's been so long, I would have to start it from the beginning again, which I'm absolutely A-okay with. I think it would be a choice between working on Jericho and a second Lady Satan book, in all honesty.
Bristolian Dave, I can only imagine the characters that are floating around in your head. And Mike Jimmy, are you sure you want to imagine those characters, Dave? Maybe after quite a few pints.
Oh, you will need quite a few pints, Dave. I promise you that. Some Coke if you got it as well.
Or a bad trip on heroin.
Mike knows me so well.
Has there ever been a good trip on heroin? I'm just, asking for a friend. I'm just like, oh my God. Or could it be black tar heroin?
Ooh. I like where this is going. Dark territories. My speciality.
Oh, it could be fun. I was going to quit, but it's all in vain. So, here we go. What was that? That was the dad joke for this episode. Yes. That was a dad joke? Well, some of us are unfit fathers. I kind of find it funny that, like, over here in the States, if, somebody's looking at somebody else and they'll be like, ooh, they're hot. And
yeah,
over there, you guys are like, oh, she's fit, isn't she?
Yeah, look at her, she's fit. I'd smash the granny off her.
Oh, fuck yeah. Because I saw that on, I watch a lot of the, of Simon Cowell's talent shows.
Oh, yeah.
And I like British Got Talent, has talent because, Talisa, and I don't like her music, but I'd smash it. And one dude came out and he sang some Zeppelin, and he's like built like a brick shit house, full tat sleeve down, and she's whispering to one of the other judges. He goes, "Oh, he's fitting, isn't he?" I'm like, "Yep, we know where this is going."
Oh yes,
She'd like to see you, to talk to you about your career.
There's going to be some Me Too allegations after that show.
Me too, my ass. You guys are going to damage my fragile little mind. Too late.
Then my work is done.
Mm-hmm.
Damn straight. You gotta embrace the darkness sometimes.
There's two kinds of people. Yep.
I would beg to I respectfully disagree, Mike. I say there's only one type of people. And if you know Amigo the Devil, you know the type I'm on about.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Genko, how are you, sir?
Hey.
If you're a sir, I'm just assuming, because, I don't care if I make an ass out of myself. It's been done many times before.
My policy is I get up, make an ass out of myself, then I get out of bed and I continue.
Mm-hmm. It's not bad. Now, the big question is, what are your shipping rates to the States for physical media?
Yeah, oh my God, that was such a difficult thing to overcome, because originally Lady Satan was going to be a hardback book, just hardback, no other editions. And this is at minimum 130 pages of story, and there's also like a fan art section and stuff. And I looked at what the shipping rates would be for you guys, and I was like, I better do a softback edition, so you guys have got I've got an option. In English money, the hardcover is £30, but the shipping for it is £25. So that makes it a damn expensive book. Whereas the soft cover, it's £20 and £20 shipping, which, to be honest, I still don't like that. I would love to do what I can to bring those shipping rates right down, as well as the price of the book as well, in all honesty.
Mike, Jimmy and I were talking about that, and he's been in contact with Critical Blast.
Yes.
Who's doing this thing where you can set it up through him, and you can just mail him like the largest box you can.
Yeah.
Of everything, like all filled out as a one-time like drop shipment to the States.
Yeah.
And everything filled out and ready to go. And he'll mail all those packages that are hidden inside that box.
Yeah.
Locally out to the lower 48 there.
Which is great. I think it's great what Critical Blast is doing. It's very, very helpful, and I think more people should take advantage of it. I will probably get in touch with him over Ed Gein, because it's already too far into the Lady Satan campaign to get in touch with him about that. I've already started taking people's money and stuff. But for Ed Gein, I will probably get in touch with him and be like, "Hey man, let's see what we can sort out," because where it's a 4-issue mini series, obviously I can send him a lot more of those single issues than I can of a 130 page graphic novel.
Yeah, look, that's what he did for Life on Korra 4 for Mike Jimmy.
And that's great. Bringing it down to €8, that's fantastic. Even if it just brings it down by $1 or $2, that's better than nothing. That I think that is the real hindrance when it comes to the indie scene, is the shipping rates.
Yeah, hit him up before you start the campaign. He's another person I've got to get on and find out what's going on, because of course over here I talked to a couple other people that do that, like Varian Grant, who's got Liberty Distribution. out here in the States, and I'm trying to push for like all this indie stuff, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the goals in the future is, to start getting these books into the stores, and not just the UK stores, but you guys in the US. I mean, most of my readership comes from the US anyway. If I if I walk down the street here, no one knows who the fuck I am. But if I go to the US, there's going to be more people who start knowing who I am, going, "What the fuck is he doing here?"
Because we're a bunch of twisted motherfuckers.
Exactly. That's why I get on with you guys.
Yeah, Mike says he can put 150 copies in a single 20-kilogram box.
See, that's great. That's absolutely fantastic. And this is something that we desperately, desperately need. Because, I mean, look at channels like Cartoonist Kayfabe. You got Ed Piscor, who's doing Red Room through Fantagraphics. His stuff's getting into stores in the US, no problem. You're probably not going to see that in many of the UK stores, if any. And we don't have that many comic book stores. If I want to go to my local comic book store, I've got to like travel half an hour by taxi to get to the train station. I've then got to travel half an hour to 45 minutes on the train, and then spend like another 20-minute walk to get to my nearest comic book store. So that sucks. But I pre-ordered issue 1 of Red Room direct through Fantagraphics. $7 for the issue. Fine, no problem. $35 shipping. Oh, it's a good thing I really wanted that book. Otherwise, I would have turned around.
I mean, the postage rates like all over the world are like out of control.
Yeah, they are. They really are. And, this is another reason why I do think it's important for people to offer a digital option. I'm not a fan of digital, but some people are, and some people want to save money. And there have been a couple of campaigns where I've been like, the shipping's too much. I can't afford it. So I'll just go for the digital version. And it's a good thing. It gets more readers.
Yeah, well, the big thing, going from the States over to the United Kingdom or vice versa. The digital option, a lot of people are better off paying like $5 or $10 to get the PDF.
Yeah,
and at least you still have more eyes on your story and your work and everything.
Yeah,
and they're not kicking various governments like $20 to $40 for shipping.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the other thing that I really appreciated that Ed Piscor did is that on his Patreon, you could pay like $3 a month, and every week he's uploading like 2 or 3 issues of Red Room way before Fantagraphics releases it. But not only that, they're such high quality files that you can print them up yourself. And he even said like, hey, go make your own copies of these issues. So people were printing up their own professional versions of Red Room, and that made stuff a shitload cheaper. So if we started incorporating a similar tactic, I think it could really open the doors to more potential readers.
Bristolian Dave says, I don't do digital. I've got to the point that if the book's postage is more than the book, I just won't back it.
Exactly. And more people are going to be thinking that way. And we really need to do something about it, because that's something that could really harm the indie industry. The indie community or industry has such huge potential in today's day and age. There are so many people who are sick and tired of what Marvel and DC and some of the other mainstream publishers are doing, and they see things like Alterna Comics, which is fucking brilliant what they do, absolutely amazing what they do. But if you're in a country like mine, once again, you try finding a local comic book store that stocks Alterna. It's not easy. So we have to go to places like eBay, where of course they're putting extra money on top of that. So we end up paying more for those books, or we can go to their website, pay $1, $2, get a digital version. But it's not the same as having the actual book.
Yeah, Marv says he has more than 30 digital comics and he's not reading them. He gets tired in 5 minutes. Physical is my thing. The shipping is expensive. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
the thing, like, the alternate books are cheap, obviously.
Yes.
You know, doing it on newsprint, the prices come up a little bit, but, you know, only like a few cents.
Yeah.
You know, since they started, unless it's like a nice square bound book. But the great thing about Alterna is you can, instead of paying the eBay shill prices, you can go on the Alterna page and you can order directly from them, and they'll ship them to you. You're still looking at a high price for the shipping.
Yeah.
But if you order like, you know, 50 or 60 books, like complete miniseries runs, it's going to be worth it, because you're only paying, you know, $1 or $2 per. Absolutely. You're paying like less than half of what, you know, Modern Comics cover price cost.
Yeah.
To get these books, and it, you know, there's some really good stuff over there.
Yes, absolutely. Now, in correlation to what Bristolian Dave said about, you know, if you go to back a book and the postage is as much as the book, if not more, he won't back it. Right. And I can completely understand that. So I want to ask Dave, what if the book you backed was $2, the shipping was $5, but you know full well that the person who's shipping that book to you might put something extra in there? It could be a print, it could be a button, it could be a sticker, it could even be an ash can. Would it then be worth paying for a book that has postage almost twice its price?
He says $25 for the book, $25 for shipping, comes out to $50. What could be a 48-page book? It restricts us from backing other campaigns.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. This is a big issue that we really do need to focus on and work around, because it's only holding us all back, every single last one of us. That's why I really dig the fact that Critical Blast is doing what he is doing. I'm not going to say it's the perfect solution, but it's a solution.
It's a start.
Exactly. It's a start, and then we're going in the right direction. And, you know, if we don't start going in the right direction, what's going to happen is we're going to get to a point where creators are going to feel very stifled, because instead of thinking, how do I make the best story I can, they're going to be thinking, how can I tell this story in such a way that the fucking shipping is reduced as much as possible? That's not a good approach to storytelling, and we shouldn't have to be worrying about problems like that. And the readers should not feel like they can't join in with the fun that a UK creator's having just because they live in the US, or vice versa. So at least we're starting to go in the right direction, but all of us, we all need to like put our egos to one side and start going, no, this is about the readers, this is about their wallet. Because this is the thing, if we can sort this problem out, it won't just make more people want to back our campaigns, it means that they will buy more books from us, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, Dave said, when you're talking low-cost books, you expect to pay more for postage. If the book is $2, I'd buy 5 issues, if available, to save postage. I'm savvy.
There you go.
Well, that's one word you've been called today.
But it's important to ask these questions, because the more we ask these questions, even if they seem like stupid fucking questions, the closer we're going to get to that point where we go, guys, we figured it out. This is how we're going to save everyone money, and everyone's going to have a good fucking time.
Mm-hmm. It's not just, you know, getting the books from, you know, there over here, in Australia over here, and you know, vice versa. It's getting them into stores and convincing stores. It's like, you can look at this stuff and, you know, if a creator's got like they're up to like 4 issues out of like their 12 issue run, you can be like, I'm going to send you a partial PDF of the first issue for you to check out and read.
Yeah,
And you let me know if it's something you might be interested in carrying in your store.
absolutely.
If so, I will send you the information where you can get my book and plenty of others
Yep.
through Liberty Distribution here in the United States.
There you go. There you go. That's what we really need. Like I'm seeing with like a lot of indie creators, and I'm not putting this down. I think this is a really good thing. But I'm seeing a lot of indie creators, they're making their book and going, you know what? This book needs to look like it comes from a publisher. So I'm starting my own little publisher that just publishes my books. And that is great. I think we need more of that. I love seeing that. But what we need just that little bit more is people starting distribution companies, even if it's on a very small scale. That is definitely something that will help us out in the future.
Mm-hmm. Dave said he plans to produce a graphic novel on Indiegogo and split it into floppies to give people a cheaper option and to try to get it into retailers.
Good way to go.
That's a good idea. Also, you have to remember, retail-wise, graphic novels and trade paperbacks are more than 65% of the sellable business because it's a binge society. So
yes.
we don't want to sit down and just read this one issue and be like, oh fuck, especially with indies, because it takes much longer to produce them because it's a smaller production to make them, and because of the way it has to be marketed through either Kickstarter or Indiegogo, you can only put a small amount a year up there.
Yes.
So I know some people will double down. I know Silverline Comics is actually they needed to get X amount of books out and they were done. So they did a double book, not a flip book, even though they've done those. So people will get both. But they've done ones where you get number one of this and you get number one of that. And they were able to cut down cost and of course shipping. You save a load on shipping. So you pay $10 and you get two or three books in plus all your extra stuff instead of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like the fact that Dave is thinking about, well, here's a more expensive option, but here's a cheaper option. That's just good business. Ideally, what creators need to start doing is thinking about a tier system where you have a cheap option, a medium range option, and then an expensive option. And to me, I think digital should be that cheap option, because digital, you got one or two methods that you can go with. Charge dirt cheap for a digital edition of an issue, right? Because people don't mind spending $1 to try something out. Or if you're a first timer and you don't have any credentials or any experience doing this stuff, putting that first issue out digitally for free does not hurt you. There's lots of people who think it does. I've seen the evidence that proves otherwise. And then you can have your single issue versions, and you've got that medium tier, and then you've got the collection. But we also need to think about the different types of comic book fan there are. There are people who just love to read comics. There are collectors who love to buy 3 copies of a comic, one to read, one to flip, and one to display. So we need to think about them as well. We need to really spend that time, rather than just going out there and going, we're going to take on the mainstream. We have to start using the most powerful tool we all have, this fucking thing up here. Because if we think about it right, we can make even more of an impact than we already are.
Big thing, even though I'm not a big fan of graded books.
Yeah.
Actual keys, not the modern. We're gonna make every issue a key issue, or every third issue a new character, so it's a key issue, so everybody will buy it. Nonsense. But like older books that are real keys.
Yes.
Dark Phoenix saga, first appearance in Nightwing, all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I see even some indie creators turning around and offering tiers with people will get a 9.8 graded slab of that book for X amount of dollars.
Yeah. Because they're catering to the collectors.
Yeah, I see people, go through it. And there's people that they'll never read it. They just want, graded books. And I'm like, okay, if you want to pay me 3 times, what you could get the book for it, plus, another $100 to get a 2-day rush job on it. Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, we also got to remember that, there are plenty of people out there who have never read a comic book in their life, but they want to give it a try because, they've seen some of the comic book movies and they think if these movies are cool, the comic books must be cool. And they're put off by the big two because they see the numbers, the issue numbers, and they start going, fuck, how am I meant to go all the way back to issue 1 to get started? Because yes, we're in a binge society. If we discover a podcast that we like and it's already on episode 427, we will go back to the beginning and binge all the way through up to that latest episode. And it's the same thing with comics. They want to do the same thing. But when it's a large number, Batman issue 1035, not only are they thinking, shit, I've got so much to catch up on that I never will, they're also thinking, yeah, but in issue 1, I'm going to have to mortgage my house twice if I ever find a copy. So we need to get around. Yeah.
Keep going.
So we need to get around that as well. And one of the ways of doing that is showing them, look, here's the indie scene, right? But then they go to Indiegogo and they see a 48-page book that's $20. And they're thinking, well, that's stopping. The price is stopping me just as much as if it was issue 10,085. So we're not doing ourselves any favors in that respect. I'll be open right now, right? This is something that I've not put out there openly. You can call this an exclusive if you want. And I'm not guaranteeing this is what's going to happen, but this is something that I want to try with Ed Gein, where the digital edition of the first issue, super cheap. I mean, pennies, kind of super cheap, so that you can get into it. You're not forfeiting a lot of money, right? I'm not a big fan of variant covers, but I know that collectors are. So what I'm thinking is the cover that you use for that digital edition, you also use for what you call the unlimited print run. So there's nothing special about it. Anyone can get it, and it's super, super cheap. And then you do the second cover, which is limited and hand numbered to 666 copies, so that the collectors do not feel left out. If they want to pay that extra couple of bucks, they can. And then you do cover C, and that's limited to just 10 copies, so that the hardcore collector, they'll pay even more for it. And they'll be very happy saying, you see this? There's only 10 of these in the world, and I'm holding one of them in my hand. That way, there is still a good entry point for people who are new to comics and want to read comics, but don't want to mortgage their house in order to get on board.
Mm-hmm. Mike was saying that the production time is a thing he wants to tackle, Life on Korra. And he wants to get it down, so he's going bi-monthly with the book.
Understandable.
And Marv's saying, I want my comic to be on newsprint. I would like to know, where can I do it? Any advice? Most of that is going to be up to the printer if they can, if they're able to do it on, on newsprint.
Yeah. Absolutely. Finding people who can print on newsprint, especially here in the UK, it's not that easy a task. But what you can do is ask if they'll print on uncoated paper, because that's the next best thing to newsprint. It's very similar, but it's not exactly the same. But it still has that beautiful thing of when you get that book and you open it up, oh, the smell. glorious, absolutely beautiful. So consider that as a plan B, Marv. Really do think about using uncoated papers if you can't find anywhere that will do newsprint.
Yeah, because once you get past the smell, you get it licked.
Yeah, exactly.
And Dave, I don't have a business degree for nothing. No, they charged you a lot for that degree. Oh
Yes.
yeah, he loves uncoated.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, Russ, who did Only Death Can Save Us, uncoated papers. And the first thing I noticed when I opened up that book when I got it was, oh, the smell. It's beautiful.
The comic book black belt.
Oh, yes, that's the one.
Russ Leach. So now I have a question because I'm stuck on my phone and my computer is offline currently. Thank you, Comcast. One of the first things I did was post your website. Now,
Yes.
is everything else, like all the other links, are they all available through your website?
You'll find the links to all my social medias on my website. You won't find the link to the Indiegogo campaign for Lady Satan, unfortunately, but I am updating my website. I'm giving it a bit of a revamp at the moment, so soon you will find links like that on there as well.
Cool. Mike says, yeah, the real fresh book smell.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, nothing like picking up an old book and opening it. You know, you don't want to be able to smell it from across the room, but you don't want to have to stick your face in it first either.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's a life hack, just saying. That can work on more than one thing.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. I'm down with where you're going. Just like butterscotch.
Yeah. One will hope. So tell us about that cool little object by you.
Oh,
I know
this
there's
guy.
a story to it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is my friend John Doe. You know, most writers or artists, when they get a sponsorship offer, it's normally like Sharpie pens, Wacom tablets, you know, paper companies and stuff like that. I didn't. I had a taxidermist get in touch with me, someone who I actually know. He said, "Look, I want to give you a sponsorship, and in return, you know, I'll give you this lamp that you can have on whilst you're doing live streams and stuff. Just leave a link in your description box, give it a quick plug and all that, and in return, you know, I'll give you some free stuff." I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds really cool. And this is the lamp that they gave me. This is a real roe deer skull and spinal column that has been turned into a lamp, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I said, like, I know this is not the item that you're giving me for free, so here's some money. This has to be mine. I can't let this go to anyone else. Someone will buy it, and that's just not good by me. So.
Oh yeah. But that's cool because I mean, how many people have something that odd?
Exactly.
You know, in eclectic, in not just in their studio, but as a sponsor.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I feel that it suits me down to a T, and it's been great because I bought the lamp off them. They were like, okay, well, here's like a little extra something and stuff. You know, just keep plugging it away. So I do. Even if they weren't giving me free stuff, I would still plug them quite happily. I mean, so far I've got John here at my studio above my pub. I have a taxidermied crow that's positioned on top of a couple of books who I call Edgar Allan Crow. And it's just the work that they've done on it is absolutely amazing.
Well, if I had a taxidermied crow, I would put my Joker leather jacket on a mannequin with a guitar hanging off his back. And
yes.
It would be just to turn him into a life-size Eric Draven. I've sold a couple of my old McFarlane toy
Oh
Pros.
yes. Yes.
I have one more going to Sean Howe, and then I still have one left for myself. Plus, I've got the 18-inch talking one.
Oh, nice. That's
And
awesome.
everybody was like, "Are you gonna sell that?" I'm like, "Sure." Can you put a picture up? Okay, here you go. And I put it up. Starting bid $75.
Good man.
Would you take? Fuck off. I go, you're only looking at mine because they're probably like $200 or $300 on eBay.
Yeah, easily.
So I'm just like, nope. I think I'm going to keep that one just, because it would be a great display piece in case somebody, is begging and throwing enough money at me to get the last Movie Maniacs one.
Mm.
And I've got this. This is a prototype Colonel Jack O'Neill from Stargate.
Oh, nice.
I also have all the Stargate figures from like the first series. I've got one set to sell and I've got one set to play with.
Excellent. That's the way to do it.
Oh yeah, for sure. But we don't want to cut this short, but I know Lucifer has another stream and he's going to recharge.
Yes.
And this is my second stream already. And all the water and coffee I just drank is running through me like a broken dam. So that'll tell you something. You're either going to hear a waterfall in a minute or we're going to cut this stream and keep it going. And why don't you let everybody know where they can follow you on social media, since I wasn't able to post them because I'm down to my phone.
No problem. You can follow me on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook by looking for Lucifer Storm or the Lucifer Storm, accept no substitutes.
Of course, and you can go to Lucifer's website. All you got to do is scroll up to the very top of the chat, and it's listed there. No matter where you're looking for us, and all of his link information, including the Indiegogo for Lady Satan, if you haven't gotten in on that yet, is in the show notes, either up above or down below, depending on where you're watching the stream.
Awesome.
Dude, I want to thank you so much for coming on short notice. And
that's my pleasure.
I finally got you on because there's so many people that are like, yeah, I got to get them on. And then,
yeah.
I'm like, ooh, comic books. Woohoo. And, then I go, or I run into like a glow in the dark specter or something. And
nice.
I go, ooh, yeah, that's cool. What was I doing? I don't know. Like anybody over the age of 30, I can roll in the kitchen, remember all the lyrics.
And it looks like it's just me again. Looks like I'm not going that soon. Hello, everyone. How the devil art thou? We got to stop meeting like this, because if we do, then people will start talking. Because I will start the rumors. I am that person who does that quite happily. So if you don't want rumors right about what we get up to, then we got to stop meeting like this. But I'm glad that we have met like this. I'm glad that you're all here. You know what? I'm glad Will's been paying attention to the chat.
There I am again.
Speak of the devil, and he will appear.
And here I am. Somebody tries to call me, all of a sudden my phone kicks me out. So like I was saying, you can go to the very top of the chat in the stream and his Lucifer's website is there. It's also in the show notes, either up or above or down below, depending on where you're searching for things and where you're watching us. So please check that stuff out. Give him a follow and some likes on stuff, and check out his YouTube channel as well.
Oh yeah.
So until next time, peace, love, and read some comic books, because if not, Lucifer Storm's coming for you.
Damn straight.
Thanks, brother. Everybody in the chat, thank you for hanging out and having a great conversation about where we need to go in the indie industry, and hearing about all the new stuff coming out from Lucifer. Until next time, I'll be back Friday with another episode of Creators Outlet, as well as a special one tomorrow afternoon for
Awesome.
Kaijus and Cowboys.
Yeah.
So until then, everybody have a great day, and thanks for hanging out.
Take care.